Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all the honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, or Kakwadash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of the great millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Bayath Adawadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. All right, so Wednesday afternoon camp. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. This is the year coined by Elder Apostle Har that all prophecies, Lord willing, that all the prophecies of the scriptures come to pass. We're all ready to get the hell up out of here, and the real hell's about to begin. All right, so we're gonna get started with the book of We're going to start with the book of Second Esdras. It's going to be Second Esdras, chapter 16. I'm going to start at the top here. And it says, "Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria." Verse 2, "Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand." So the whole world is going to know the wrath and the indignation of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? And looking at the times that we're living in, we're real close to that time where all hell is about to break loose, because you already can tell that you've been watching, the reason why they said that a lot of those plane flights were canceled is because they're doing exercises, war exercises, along with, amongst other things. And you got blackouts, the power grids are running their course, along with the upcoming the soon-to-be famine. It's and not only that, but more and more people are losing their jobs. More and more people are getting judged. This is going to be the year where where Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is really going to start dropping people, and there's been a lot of sifting going on amongst the brotherhood. So Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to make a separation of who he wants and who he doesn't want. So, best thing to do is to stay prayed up and fast. And I'm speaking to myself first and foremost. I gotta fast more. I got that hunger spirit on me, and that's not good. So, going back to Second Esdras, chapter 16. I'm gonna start back at the top. "Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria." Verse 2, "Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand." Verse 3, "A sword is sent unto you, and who may turn it back?" Okay, the sword represents destruction, okay? And who's going to turn it back? There is no turning back. All right? Verse 4, "A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it?" All right? Verse 5, "Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away?" Verse 6, "May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood? Or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it hath begun to burn?" Verse 7, "May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer." Verse 8, "The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away?" Verse 9, "A fire shall go forth from his wrath." And that's talking about that those ICBMs, that thermonuclear fire. And who is he that may quench it? Verse 10, "He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid?" All right? So a lot of things are going to be happening in these last days. And Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to make it known. All right. This is why you have to fear him. Okay. Verse 11. The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? So, that right there shows you, this is not a game. Verse 12, the earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof, the sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord, and before the glory of his power. Verse 13, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. Okay? His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Okay, that's talking about those nukes. Okay, and the right hand of Yahweh is the only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. All right, right now he's in the seat. He's sitting at the right hand side of his Father. Okay, and right now Yahweh Shai has the power and authority, so he's going to be the one doing all the judging, and he's going to be the one that brings that destruction. Okay. As I said, roughly paraphrasing, all power was given unto me in the heaven and the earth. So, right now, Yahweh Shai is in charge. His Father, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, gave him that right and authority. Okay? And it says here in verse 14, behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again, until they come upon the earth. Verse 15, the fire is kindled, and shall not be put out, till it consume the foundation of the earth. Okay. Again, with plagues like the pestilence and this new thing going around about the whole. I got to be careful with my words because there's certain algorithms, but I guess I could just call it the Walking Dead virus. That's supposed to be a mixture of rabies and the flu. So, and they said even the military was preparing for an exercise, doing an exercise, and they're preparing for people to start turning into, the Walking Dead. But like I said, we're gonna be seeing. There's gonna be signs and wonders, and people are gonna believe it not until it actually happens, and then they're gonna believe. Then they'll know. And that fire is kindled; it shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. So, once those nukes hit, everybody's gonna be firing at Babylon here, but Babylon's gonna be firing at everyone else. But nukes are gonna go off everywhere, and it's basically gonna look like a giant boiling pot of smoke and fire. And it says, verse 16, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. Verse 7, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Okay. Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings. Okay. Right now we're living in hard times, you have more people around the world dying. You got more people that are getting killed, murdered, more robberies, more crime rate is slowly but surely going up. Even though I don't know if it's in your city or wherever you be, but in certain areas, things still look. In fact, let me get the scripture. I'm gonna get verse 18 here. 2nd Esdras chapter 16, verse 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Verse 19. And this was 2nd Esdras here. This was Esdras here, having, seeing the vision of what's to come, and he's, it scared the hell out of him. This is verse 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So all these judgments are sent as scourges for amendment, for correction, to clean this place up, because this place is just completely just wicked, man. like I said earlier, this was the prophet Ezra seeing these things. And it's scary. It's a scary thing. Who would deliver me in those days? He was wondering who's going to save him. The only one that can save us is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. No one else. Verse 20, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Okay? That's talking about, those that will not, let me read again. Verse 20, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness. That's talking about the people in the world. The 2/3, 2/3 of our own people, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, they're not going to turn from their wicked ways. They love it here. They like, being in a place where they're oppressed, whether they believe it or not, accept it or not, admit to it or not. And they like being chummy with our enemies that are confederate against us. And also the wicked is also talking about the other nations as well, but and as well as Esau, Edom, our wicked ass older twin brother. All right. 21, verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Okay, so right now, the prices of things don't look so bad for now, but that's why we gotta watch as well as pray, because things may seem all right for now. Things seem all right for now, manageable, but we all know the truth. And it says here, okay, let me read it again. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. So, mass death, civil war, pestilence, people taking matters in their own hands, great confusion, because people are going to be wanting answers for what's going on. Why is this all happening? But these people still think that everything's going to be okay. They think that America will bounce back. We've had problems in the past, but we've always managed to pull through. Well, this is the last for America, aka Babylon. This is the last. This freaking place is on its last legs. It's over. In 22 it says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. So hunger and famine is a very, very painful way to die, because not just that of the fact that you're starving, but your body will eventually feed off itself. And that's a painful way to go. That's a very painful way to go. And the other, it says here, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Okay? A lot of people here are gonna die by the weapon, by these whether it be by another individual, a gang, or even one of these, or even from a soldier, because once civil war breaks out over here, that's when they're going to implement martial law to put things back in order. But and that's the thing too about the martial law. That's when everything's under a military jurisdiction and rule. These motherfuckers will have the right to shoot you. You could be just a regular civilian, but if you don't do as they say, and if you don't comply, they have a right to just gun you down. That's the devil coming down with great wrath, because that he hath but a short time. And our people still trust in this damn devil, this pale-faced, cave-dwelling demon. They love Esau. Yet Esau hates us and wants to get rid of us. Okay, in verse 23 it says, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. Verse 24, there shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. 25, the tree shall give fruit, and who shall gather them up? Verse 26, the grapes shall ripe, and who shall tread them? for all places shall be desolate of men. All right? So, everything around here is going to be made desolate. It's going to be like a damn ghost town. And bodies are going to be littering the damn streets. And it's going to smell like death. You know, these it's just going to get bad. You know, people think that they're going through hell right now, but they have no idea. And Yahweh Shemel Shai is he's going to try the whole world. In fact, let me get that scripture. Revelation 3, I believe. Revelation chapter 3. Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. There we go. And it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. Okay? So, Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to put the whole world through that fiery trial, through that hell. I mean, the elect are going to suffer too, but they're going to make it because they were ordained to make it. Okay? I was at verse 27. Okay, I'm going to start at verse 27. Go back to 2nd Esdras, the 16th chapter, verse 27. It says, so that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. Verse 20, for a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of a field which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and the clefts of the rocks. Okay? So, like I said, this place is going to be desolate. There'll be no one to till the field, to grow anything. And there'll be like I said, it'll be a ghost town. It'll be dead silent. Like in the there's plenty of movies that show that, and TV series as well. It's just like what like you have to, as the elders say, you have to be like a visionary. You have to envision this shit, like see it for what it really is, because this is going to happen. Just imagine that you're just walking around in the ghost town. There's little to no people, just bodies everywhere. Everything's all tore up, destroyed. And if there be anybody around, they're in hiding and they're keeping quiet because they don't want no damn trouble. They'll see you as an enemy. Excuse me. Or they'll see you as a stranger. And who knows? Hell, Lord willing, they don't cap you from a hiding spot. How you doing? All right, it says, verse 29, as in an orchard of olives, upon every tree there are 3 or 4 olives. Verse 30, or when as a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through ye vineyard. All right, 31, even so in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. Okay, so you're gonna have people that are gonna be going around breaking into other people's dwelling places, their homes, with weapons, just searching for what little scrap they can get just to stay alive or to help those that need them. People are going to become true cold-hearted savages out here. It's going to get that fucking bad. And you people still think that this is a game. It is not a fucking game. Verse 32. And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways excuse me, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travail therethrough. Verse 33. So before I go on, the land is going to be laid to waste. Nothing's, like I said, if there's anything that's going to grow, it's going to be extremely rare to come by. Everything's just going to be dead. The grass, everything, just the environment is going to be just barren. 33, the virgin shall mourn having no bridegrooms. Ye women shall mourn having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. All right. Verse 34, in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. So, believe it or not, when this war gets so intense to the point where they're going to have to bring back the draft, which they are, you know, a lot of these men, they're going to be drafted, whether it be by force or if they go willingly. And a lot of these men are going to get wasted. And they're leaving behind their wives and their families, their daughters. And we all know what's going to happen to the women if they're left alone with no man there to protect them. And even if the women can protect themselves, it's only a matter of time before someone's eventually going to get them. And the children too. All right, verse 35. Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. Verse 36. Behold the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Verse 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. Verse 38. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. So, like I said, back in verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, and the beginning of famine and great death. So that great pain is going to be, people are going to be abased, humbled severely, and they're going to be in a state of mourning because it's going to be it's going to be complete chaos out here. And they're going to lose a lot of family members, friends, loved ones, acquaintances. A lot of even us, Aki and Aquat that are in the truth. Even we're going to lose family members. We're going to lose friends. We're going to lose acquaintances and loved ones. But the Lord is doing this through the Spirit. He's doing this to put you through that fiery trial. And like I said, this is all judgment. And it's there to first and foremost, to let you know who's in charge and who to fear. 2, he's disciplining us. And 3, he's trying to put us through that fiery trial to work out those imperfections in us so he could make us that much better. Okay? The only ones who are going to make it through this are the elect. But even though the elect are going to suffer, but still, they're going to make it because they were ordained to. And Lord willing, that I myself and the rest of you sincere brothers and sisters are a part of. Okay, verse 39. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. Verse 40. O my people, hear my word, make you ready for the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Okay? Be as pilgrims upon the earth, which means that, once all this shit starts happening, we're not going to be able to just stay at our at our current dwelling place. We're going to have to be able to be on the move. Being a wanderer. Going from place to place. Because eventually someone's going to break into, once all this shit goes down, eventually someone's going to break into your house, try to steal your shit, kill your family, this and that. You can't stay in one spot forever. And no matter how well you build up or fortify your house, eventually somebody's going to find a way to break through it and get to you. It's not going to be, right now it's not safe anywhere. And it's going to be that much more so in that time. All right, verse 41. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will loose. Verse 42. He that occupieth merchandise, as he that had no profit by it, and he that buildeth, as he that shall not dwell therein. Verse 43. He that soweth, as if he should not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard, as he that shall not gather the grapes. Salakia, allergies. Verse 44. They that marry, as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers. Verse 45, and therefore they that labor in vain. Okay? Verse 46, for strangers shall reap their fruits, and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children captives, for in captivity and famine shall they get children. Okay? So, you're not going to be seeing people out here setting up shop anymore because it's going to be too dangerous. You know? And people are not going to be out trying to plant, try to grow crops or anything. We ain't got time. It ain't going to be the time for that, to grow anything. And not only that, but it said that they shall reap the fruits and spoil their goods and overthrow their houses, take their children captive, and in captivity and famine shall they get children. So that right there tells you that people are going to break into your house, take some of your family members, whether it be your children, and if you got any women with you in the household, best believe that they're going to take them. So and in captivity shall they get children. So that right there tells you that a lot of women, and yes, even the young women, are going to get ravished. The book of Isaiah, let me get it. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 11, and it says, Salakia. Let's see, where is it? Isaiah. Salakia, there we go, I found it. Call hello Yahweh Shemi Shai. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 16. It says, their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. So a lot of people are going to see their own children getting murdered right in front of them, and there's not going to be a damn thing they can do about it. Or dying in general, however it may be, right before them. It says, okay, so their children shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes, their houses shall be spoiled, which means they're going to be broken into and everything's going to be taken, and their wives ravished. Okay? A lot of you women are going to get it, both figuratively and literally. That's why us men, we tell you, Israelite women, you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American and Seminole Indian women, humble yourselves. Stop with the boss bitch bullshit. And the feminism is what got you fucked up in the first place. Oh yeah, you're so strong and independent that you don't need a man. Well, look at the times that you're coming into. And you could even look it up on whatever platform. You could, all these women that are going through hell, guess who's there to save them? A man. I remember watching one video where a woman was in a freaking, like, it was just raining really bad. I think it was here in the U.S., but I can't remember which state, but woman thought she was so strong and independent that her car was stuck in this big, this flood. And guess who came out there to save her? Jake, so-called black man. Got her up out of there. He wasn't going to get the car because the flood was just, it was basically like being in the damn lake. But anyway, that's just one example of many. And also another one. A lady, like I said, strong, independent. Of course, she was married to an Edomite man, and I guess they had some sort of a horrible breakup, and he was just trying to get into the house, and she was calling 911. Well, guess what? That emergency call 911 is going to be no more real soon. You're going to have to go to Psalms 91:1. In fact, let me get it. I'm telling you, women especially have no idea of what's coming. Y'all keep thinking that this is a game. We get Psalms 91. Okay. Psalms 91:1. This is the real 911. It says, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Okay? Verse 2, it says, I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power, in him will I trust. Verse 3, surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noisome pestilence. Verse 4, he shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. All right? Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is our 911, spiritual 911. Okay? Okay, and this word here, the truth shall be the shield and buckler. You know, roughly paraphrasing, one of my favorite scripts, Isaiah 33:6. Thy wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. You know, even though we're about to see things that we've never seen before out here, and it's going to be a true nightmare, but at the same time, we have to be rooted in this. This is what's going to save you, man. Because if you bug out, that's it. You're fucked. Unless the Lord really loves you and he has mercy on you, and if you're of the elect. But the elect they're not going to falter. But even though Yahweh Hashem Hashai, you know, he could still wake you up at the last second before that coming destruction. So, you know, and this, your faith has to be, you have to have faith in Yahweh Hashem Hashai if you're going to make it through this. There's no other way. All right, so let me get back to Second Esdras here. Let's see. Second Esdras chapter 16. Let's see, where was I at? Damn. Chapter 16, verse 47. It says, and they that occupied their merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons. Verse 48, the more will I be angry with them for their sin, saith the Lord. Verse 49, like as an whore envieth a right, honest, and virtuous woman. Verse 50, so shall righteousness hate iniquity, when she decketh herself, and shall accuse her to her face, when he cometh that shall defend him that diligently search out every sin upon earth. Verse 51, and therefore be ye not like thereunto, nor to the works thereof. Verse 52, for yet a little iniquity shall be taken away out of the earth, and righteousness shall reign among you. All right, so Yahweh Hashem Hashai is going to do a mass cleansing of all iniquity. Even just a little bit of iniquity, it's going to be cleansed out. Judgment. And like I said earlier in one of the earlier scripts, and they that occupied their merchandise with robbery. So like I said, people are going to be taking from others, and try to build themselves up with another person's valuables. And more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons. So people are going to see other people's valuables as something of something worthy to have, man. Something that's good for them, that's going to benefit them. But it's all vain, man. It's all vain. In verse 53, let not the sinner say that he hath not sinned, for the Most High shall burn coals of fire upon his head, which saith before the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai in his glory, I have not sinned. Verse 54, behold, the Lord knoweth all the works of men, their imaginations, their thoughts, and their hearts. Verse 55, which spake but the word, let the earth be made. Salakia, stop at verse 54. So behold, the Lord knoweth all works of men, their imaginations, their thoughts, and their hearts. So you really think you're being slick when really you're not, because the Lord, like I just said, it knows your thoughts, your imagination, your hearts. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, I'm just going to get it right here, right now, just to drive the point home. This is going to be Isaiah chapter 46. Isaiah 46 and 46 and 9. It says, "Remember the former things of old, for I am the power." Salakia. "For I am the power, and there is none else. I am the power, and there is none else like me." Verse 10 it's going to make it nice and sparkling clear. "Declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure." So, declaring the end from the beginning. So that means that everything had been preordained, pre-thought out, and pre-worked out before the beginning happened. Which means it is already written. You know, the more you think about that, Salakia. So think about it. Declaring the end from the beginning. Let me read again. Isaiah 46 and 10. "Declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure." So Yahweh Shem Yahshua's word is going to go out and accomplish that which, it's going to, roughly paraphrasing, man, though it tarry, wait for it, it will surely come, though it will not tarry. And the more you think about it, man, the more it's going to help you realize that this is not the time. This is not the time to be in the house of mirth, man. This is not the time for bullshit. This is not a fucking game. In fact, before I go back to second Esdras, before I get the next script, I just want to get this precept in Ecclesiastes. There's a time and place for everything, but this is not the time and place for having fun and partying and bullshitting. Isaiah chapter 3. Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Salakia. And it says here at verse 1. "To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven." Okay? There's a time and place for everything. Okay? Verse 2. "A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted." Verse 3. "A time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up." Verse 4. "A time to weep and a time to laugh, and a time to mourn and a time to dance." Verse 5. "A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing." Okay? Verse 6. "A time to get and a time to lose, and a time to keep and a time to cast away." So as I'm reading through all of this, there's a time and place for everything under the sun, man. That's called a balance. A little bit of everything in its order. Right now, we're in a time, I'm getting down to it right now. So, verse 7, "A time to rent, a time to sow, a time to keep silence, and a time to speak." Verse 8, "A time to love, and a time to hate, and a time of war, and a time of peace." And right now, we're in a time of war. And as far as hate goes, yes, there's a lot of hate going on in the world and right now in the spirit realm too, spiritually and carnally. Hate crimes against a certain group of people for their skin color, how they look or whatnot, and spiritually, hate against the sincere brothers and sisters as well as the elders and apostles of GMS. All these other Israelite groups hate us because we have 100% truth, and we give everybody and everyone the truth, Israelite or not, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. We don't care. So So again, verse 8, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. Okay? Right now we're in a time of war. And people think that America's got everything under control. They're control my ass. And let me get 1 Thessalonians here. This will be 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. Actually, I'll start at I'm gonna start at the top. So 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. Verse 2, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. So Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to catch you when you least expect it. You know? And when you go into the word night, when you look that up in the blue letter, it goes into the definition of saying in a time of moral stupidity, where people are in a blissful state of just not giving a shit. They're just doing whatever the hell they want to. Excuse me. Sorry, my allergies. Verse 2, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Verse 3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So yeah, so right now people just, either they have a clue of what's going on, or they try the best they can to just deny it because, you know, they got try to say close the blinds. So, you know, their conscience seared with a hot iron. Like they don't want to hear the truth. But you know, when the truth when these judgments come more and more, these people are going to realize that, you know, that they should have listened. Especially our people, the so-called blacks, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and Seminole Indians. Our own people, the nation of Israel, 2/3 of our people are going to perish in horrible ways. And those people could be our own family, our loved ones, our friends, co-workers, etc. Verse 5, ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Okay, so we are the children of light, the truth. We are the children of truth and of the day. And we are not of the night, nor of darkness. So, you know, those who have the truth and who are diligently, you know, sincerely repenting and diligently seeking the Lord, we are the children of truth. You know, we're not the children of night, moral stupidity and ignorance, nor of darkness, sin, iniquity. You know, because we know that this place is not meant for us. It never was. And now that we know the truth, that just makes us all the more wanting to just leave. Verse 6, therefore let us not sleep as do others. You know, when they say sleep, you know, be in that state of, that spiritually dead state, you know, just not knowing what's going on and being ignorant of, you know, the truth. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. Verse 7, for they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. Okay. So we are to be, you know, sober, be clear-minded, and to watch, you know, keep your eyes on what's going on, you know, keep your eyes open. All right, next is going to be Baruch. No, Salakia. Sorry. Let's see here. I'm going to go to... This is the scripture. The next script I'm going to get is in the book of Ecclesiasticus, a.k.a. Sirach. I'm going to start with chapter 2 because I remember when the GMS elders, Amawan Gabar, I believe he's an elder now, are up and coming. But he went into Sirach chapter 2, and you know, a lot of the things that he said, man, it really got to me. You know, I'll have to go back to one of his videos and rewatch it because it just really hit me there. So this is Ecclesiasticus, otherwise known as Sirach, chapter 2, starting at verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Okay, so when you come into this truth, prepare to go through hell, man. This is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Whatever trials you may have, just know that you are not the only one that's going through it. Okay? That's why the scriptures say, roughly paraphrasing, think it not strange that some strange thing happen unto you. All the Lord is doing is trying you. He's testing you, man. Like I said before, experience is a cruel teacher. It gives a test before presenting the lesson. Okay? We are constantly being tested 24 hours, 7 days a week. And as we're in this truth, we're supposed to better ourselves day by day, day after day. We are to be constantly improving and growing. Verse 2, it says, set thy heart aright. Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 2. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure and make haste, and make not haste in a time of trouble. Okay? So we are to constantly endure. That's to make hard, meaning to harden you, to harden your heart, harden your mind, make you stronger. Okay? This is not the time to be soft. This thing isn't for the faint-hearted. It's not for the weak. And then the scriptures say that men's hearts are going to be failing them from fear. So how much more a woman, the weaker vessel? All right? And it's in verse 3 it says, cleave unto him. Who? Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. So, again, roughly paraphrasing, in Revelation, the 2nd chapter, I believe, verse 10, in there it says, be thou faithful unto death, and I shall give thee a crown of, let me go to it. I don't want to botch it up. Okay, Revelation 2. Revelation chapter 2, verse 10. Okay, so here we go. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. And when it says 10 days, that doesn't mean it's going to be exactly 10 days. It could be however long that you're being tried. And it says, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation for 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Okay? So some of us are going to be, martyrs. Some of us are going to be delivered up to the rulers of this world, the judges, the courts. The hour of temptation it's right around the corner, man, and that's going to be our darkest hour. That's going to be whether we bend the knee to the beast, who's the god of this world, or Salakia, or are we going to serve Yahweh Bashim Yahushai? Okay? So, Lord willing that we are of that precious select, because that darkest hour is going to be the hour where we're going to be on our own individual dark hour, the darkest of our hours. Just that one moment where you just that's where you're gonna have to. That's where your faith is truly gonna be tested, man. You know, and the scriptures do say that some shall depart from the faith because they weren't rooted in this. All right, let me get back to it. Yeah, so that was Revelation 2:10. Oh wait, let me get Revelation 11. Revelation chapter 2, verse 11. And it says, "He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death." And that second death, as I've said before, is going to be that thermonuclear fire from those ICBMs, those intercontinental ballistic missiles. And, you know, and there was a video I was going to watch on the Common Sense Show with Dave Hodges. And it said, and it was talking about, in the title of it, it said that, and a lot of people, I can't remember exactly what it said, but it said something along the lines of, America will be obliterated by Russia in World War III. So apparently people saying that Russia is nothing, or Russia ain't got shit on America, or, I mean, the scriptures say that, you know, the bear, you know, that's Russia, Gog and Magog. He'll put the chains back into your jaws, I believe, but I don't want to mess it up. But, you know, he's stirring up the Medes, man, and those are the Russians. Slovakia. Let me get back to the second chapter. Let's see. Come on. All right, yeah, here we are. Second, Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 4. "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully." So we're supposed to rejoice in our trials, because we know we're being tested. So this is for our betterment. "And be patient when thou art changed to a low estate." Verse 5, "For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity." All right? So in the furnace of adversity, acceptable men are able to endure and overcome it. So we're going to be tried on all levels: mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, all across the board. We're going to be tried in all ways. And that's where, you know, you have to stay constant in faith. All right, and it says here, verse 6, "Believe in him, and he will help thee, order thy way aright, and trust in him." Verse 7, "Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall." Verse 8, "Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail." Verse 9, "Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy." Verse 10, "Look at the generations of old, and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?" Okay? So the Lord loves it when you rely on him. You know, it's pleasing to him. We're supposed to rely on him because he's the only one that could get us out of any type of trouble. And we're going to especially need him in the time of Jacob's trouble. We're going to need him. You know, freaking weirdo. But, you know, we're going to, you know, we're going to have to rely on Yahweh Hashem Yashai. He doesn't need us, but we need him. Okay? What the weirdo. And let's see. Verse 10, I'm going to read. "Look at the generation of old, and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?" All right? So the Lord helps those who rely on him. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so let's see. Verse 11. For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in time of affliction. So, the Lord, yes, we are to fear him, but the Lord hath no pleasure in death. Okay? That's why he is long-suffering, which means patient. He's very, very patient, and he'll give you chances, but you cannot take advantage of them. You can't take advantage of those chances like that. It's like reaching it's like testing someone's patience until they reach the boiling point. And once they reach that boiling point and then they explode, man, what do you think is going to happen? All right. Yes, and to save us in time of affliction. Yahweh Shem Yahshai will have mercy on some brothers that, are going through things, or having things done unto them. Verse 12, woe be to fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth two ways. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. James 1:8. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, weak-minded, and for he believeth not. Okay. Verse 13. Verse 13. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted. If you're weak-minded, like I said, man's heart shall fail them for fear. People are gonna be just weak. They'd be like, I can't take it no more. This is too much. A lot of people are just. It's gonna get that bad to where people are just gonna say, to hell with it, and just commit suicide, like in the time of the Great Depression, where people were literally jumping out of their houses from the second story and just dropping, or overdosing on some shit, or however. But beside that, verse 13, woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not, therefore shall he not be defended. Okay? So, it is going to be a scary time, but, if we are truly of the elect and the men and, the sons and daughters of the Lord, it's going to be scary. It's going to be a scary time, even for us. But, as it says in the book of Psalms, roughly paraphrasing if I can remember, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy sword and rod, they comfort me. So that right there tells you, that's why we have to have our minds girded with this, man, because wisdom is strength. It is strength. Like I said, we're going to go through one hell of a nightmare, but we are to not fear. Because we got the Lord, Lord willing that he's with us. All right. And it says, verse 14, woe unto you that have lost patience. And what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you? So if you're like, oh, fuck this, I can't take it anymore, or you just bug out, what was all of that having faith about? What was it, for coming this far, and you're now going to just lose it right then and there? You're really going to just say, fuck it? Lose faith in the Lord just like that? Like, was it really worth it? Like, that's why it says endure to the end. But some people are not gonna. They're just, like I said, this is gonna be the true test. And verse 15, they that fear the Lord will not disobey his word, and they that love him will keep his ways. So those that are in this truth with 100% sincerity, that follow GMS from Elder Apostle Tahar, Elder Apostle Kabar, Elder Apostle Ramlab, and Elder Apostle Rakat, and the elders beneath them, all the way down to us, from GMS, Great Millstone. Okay, so we got the 100% truth. We just have to keep the ways. I'll read again, verse 15. They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word, and they that love him will keep his ways. Verse 16, they that fear the Lord will seek that which is well-pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law. Okay. Kind of sounds like, putting the law, statutes, and commandments back into our inward parts. That's why we are the children of this book. We are students of this book, the book of life, the law. All right. In verse 17, they that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight. So to prepare our minds, right here, and humble ourselves in his sight, which means to get rid of that pride, that arrogance, or those worldly ways you used to have before you got this. All right. But yeah, this Ecclesiasticus, the second chapter, in Amon Gabar's video, that was it. It just really got to me. Powerful stuff. Next is going to be this is going to be the book of Baruch. If I can get it. Wait, I passed it. Salakia, give me a moment. Let's see if this is. Nope, it's Ecclesiasticus. Salakia, bear with me. Just give me a second. So I can get to Baruch. Okay, nope. Well, it's a little windy out here right now. My hands are frozen to the pages. Ugh. Come on, Baruch. Yeah, okay, here we go. Salakia, that took a little longer than I thought. So we're going to the Baruch, the 4th chapter. Verse 4, okay, this is going to be Baruch chapter 4, starting at verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of the Most High, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. So it's as simple as this. If you depart from this faith, you die. But if it says, if you keep it, you shall come to life. Okay? This book is our life. Think about that. We are living through the story. This book is our life. Yahweh Hashem Yahshai had us written. Verse 2, turn thee, O Jacob, and take heed of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated. Walk in the presence of truth, and thou mayest be illuminated, to be exalted. Verse 3, give not thine honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation. Okay? Verse 4, O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing to the Most High are made known unto us. Okay? For, like it says, for things that are pleasing to the Lord are made known unto us. Okay, happy are we. We keep the law, statutes, and commandments like we're supposed to, even though we can't get it all right in this society, but if we do it to the best of our ability, as the scriptures say, if a man's ways please the Lord, he'll make your enemies be at peace with you. So And that goes into, to life, the Lord's helping you out, make it through those situations and those times. Okay, so don't yet. Back in verse 3, give not thine honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee, to a strange nation. And it's sadly but true, but the 2/3, they're accounted for as heathens, so they're part of that strange nation. Cast not thy pearls upon swine, roughly paraphrasing. And don't give honor or glory to any of these other people. They're not worthy of it. You should give all the honor, glory, and praise only to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right, I'm going to go down to verse 5. It says, be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel. Verse 6, ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved the Most High to wrath, ye were delivered unto the enemies. Verse 7, for ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils, and not to the Most High. So, because of our spiritual idolatry and adultery, idol worship of this world, of statues made of wood and stone, false gods, and adultery, spiritual adultery, because the Most High sees Israel as his comely and delicate woman. Okay? The elect, we are the Most High's woman. Okay? We're obedient, and he favors us. We are beautiful and delicate in his eyes. Let's see. Like I said, not the spiritual idolatry and adultery. Like I said, we turned our back on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai to go worship other gods. And even in a worldly sense, yes, and in the physical, worldly adultery, yes. This is, as Elder Apostle Gabar said his video, we are likened unto an adulterous generation. Because that's all that goes on here. And it says, verse 8, Baruch 4:8, ye have forgotten the everlasting God, everlasting power that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you. In verse 9, for when she saw the wrath of the Most High coming upon you, she said, hearken, O ye that dwell about Zion, the Most High hath brought upon me great mourning. Verse 10, for I saw the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting brought upon them. Verse 11, with joy did I nourish them, but sent them away with weeping and mourning. Verse 12, let no man rejoice over me, a widow, and forsaken of many, for who for the sins of my children and left desolate, because they departed from the law of the Most High. Okay? So think of it as like a mother losing her children because they were disobedient. When think about how sad or upset a mother gets when she has her children taken from her. We were being disobedient. We didn't keep the law, statutes, and commandments like we were supposed to back then. And like I said, the spiritual and carnal idolatry and adultery, man. We when you turn your, just think about that, This is not the time, as I said before, this is not a time to love and a time to party and a time for peace. This is a time of war and hate. You got to really think, man, because how much does it really mean to you? How much does this really mean to you? This. So, being left with nothing. Like I said, a mother having her kids taken from her, going to captivity with weeping and mourning, being, under that bondage, being abused and all sorts of other things, and you have no comforter. because they lost their way. Salakia, I know I'm rambling too much. Oh yes. This is gonna be the book of Hebrews. Salakia. It's gonna be Hebrews. Salakia, give me a second. It's chapter. Yes, Hebrews chapter 10, verse 31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. Verse 32, but call to remembrance the former days, in which, after ye were illuminated, ye endured a great fight of afflictions. Verse 33, partly whilst ye were made a gazing stock both by reproaches and afflictions, and partly whilst ye became companions of them that were so used. Verse 34, for ye had compassion of me in my bonds, and took joyfully the spoiling of your goods, knowing in yourselves that ye have in heaven a better and enduring substance. Okay? So, as I said back in verse 33, partly whilst ye were made a gazing stock, both by reproaches and afflictions, and partly whilst ye became companions of them that were so used. So, being it says a gazing stock, we're an astonishment to these people. They mock and scoff. We're to be made a spectacle. So, it's just, and this is, and it says we are fools for Hamashiach's sake. And yes, because we believe in him. But, but the way our nation is, 2/3 of our people, they're Israelites, and look how they act, and they see it as how we are, Just to say that, that the 2/3 set a bad example for Yahweh by Shemel Shai. A very bad example. And there's only 1/3 that he's going to take back with him. Okay, and ye had compassion on us. Verse 34, it says, for ye had compassion of me in my bonds, and took joyfully the spoiling of your goods, knowing in yourselves that ye have in heaven a better and enduring substance. So, that's why we are to lay up our treasures in heaven, man, because we have a much better reward, and something even greater is coming. Let's see. Verse 35, cast not away therefore your confidence, which hath great recompense of reward. Verse 36, for ye have need of patience, that shall after ye have done the will of the Most High, ye might receive the promise. And the promise is the kingdom and everlasting life. Verse 37, for yet a little while, and he that shall come will come, and will not tarry. Verse 38, now the just shall live by faith, but if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. So, you turn your back on Yahweh by Shemel Shai, it's like basically saying, fuck you. That's just, that's just the, ultimate disrespect, right? Really. Verse 39, it says, but we are not of them who draw back unto perdition, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul. Okay? And Lord willing that we are them. So let me get Ezekiel. Excuse me. Ezekiel. Actually, yeah. Ezekiel 26. Let's see. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 26. I just skipped it. 26, verse 9. No, that wasn't that. Slovakia, give me a second. Oh man, where was it? Was it 27? But roughly paraphrasing from Ezekiel, it said that a sword is sharpened and refurbished. You know, it's a sword sharpened for sword slaughter, and that sword slaughter is going to be, there's going to be countless. There's going to be like a large number of dead people. Like I said before, you know, plague, famine, and the sword are, you know, as scourges for amendment. So, you know, Yahweh Shem Shai is bringing all hell from all sides, and people are going to catch judgment from all sides. Okay? You have to understand that. Expect a lot more casualties, and you know, it might be one of your family, it might be one of your friends. You never know. And also that this is not the time for, like I said, this is not the time for all the freaking celebrating, man. This is not it. Let me see. This is going to be let's see, 1 Timothy. Yep, 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. It says, "Now the Spirit speaketh expressly, that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron, forbidding to marry, and commanding to abstain from meats, which the Most High hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth." Okay, so like I said before, you know, we're in a time now where you faith is our ultimate weapon right now. You know, as I said before, the just shall live by his faith. So if you want to live, you got to have faith, no matter what it is that you go through. And it says that, you know, giving into seducing spirit, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Man, look, you should know by now that any philosophy of this world is not for us. It's not. Okay? And the Lord told us of these things that were going to happen. So, again, Isaiah 33:6, "Thy wisdom, this book, and wisdom and knowledge, this book, shall be the stability of thy times and the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure." You know, let's see, I think it's in Jeremiah. Chapter 50. Jeremiah 50. Okay, this is going to be Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah chapter 51. Let's start at verse 6. "Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul, being not cut off in her iniquity. For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance." So, if we want to not be on the receiving end of judgment, man, we have to flee Babylon. And that's not talking about like a physical flee, like physically get out of here. No, because no place is really going to be safe, no matter where you go. It's talking about a spiritual, like to remove yourself from the philosophies, from Babylon's ways, in a spiritual manner. And go back. Yeah, don't be cut off in her iniquity, in her transgressions, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. Because, Yahweh, like, just envision yourself being in the shit right now. Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, you could see him judging somebody right then and there, and you could be just in a lowly state of mind, because like I said, it's gonna be the hardest thing we've ever had to deal with. It's the Lord is gonna put a lot of demons on a lot of brothers, man. It's gonna be hard. It is gonna be hard. And those demons could tempt you to do things that you're not supposed to, but that's why you gotta fight. Man, it's cold out here. Render unto her a recompense. He's gonna pay her back double for what she's did. Not just to the world and the heathen nations, but ultimately to his people and to his only begotten Son, and how they disrespect his name. Verse 7, it says, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Yeah, they're mad because they're sick and tired of America's bullshit. They're tired of America's philosophies and way of doing things. Verse 8, it says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed. Verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment, what's that?
12 tribes.
Yep. They are. Well, I tell you, man, Esau, Edom, there's some weird motherfuckers. Ugh. All right, where was I at? Jeremiah 51 and 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone to his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. Okay? So Babylon is that whore that dwells in great pride, and her sins have reached up into the heavens. And Esau even has reached up there with his satellites, his satellites and his space stations and all that, thinking that he's going to escape the great judgment, but he's not going anywhere. So, no, this place is in serious trouble. And, like I said earlier, the just shall live by his faith. So, let me get one more scripture before I close out. I think it's Proverbs chapter 4. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7. Yep, here it is. Actually, I'm going to start from the top. Proverbs 4 and 1. It says, hear ye children in the instruction of a father, and attend and to know understanding. Verse 2, for I give you good doctrine, forsake you not my law. Verse 3, for I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. Verse 4, he taught me also, and said unto me, let thine heart retain my words, keep my commandments, and live. Verse 5, get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Verse 6, forsake her not, talking about wisdom. And if you go into the etymology, and if you look up the name Sophia, it means wisdom. Forsake her not, so she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Verse 7, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. So wisdom is the principal thing. Principal meaning it's in this case, it's your number one priority, it's your top priority. So therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Okay? Get the understanding and knowing what the will of the Lord is, man. Like I said, be prepared, because the real hell is about to come soon. And in that day you will not have any excuse. All right, so I hope that this was an edifying camp unto the body, and to those that are new coming in, listening and learning with all sincerity. I'd like to give all the honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Kodash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of the great millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity, and unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning, and unto the Ba'ath of the elect house of David that is scattered abroad. I give you my utmost and sincere salutation. Okay? See you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharala, Wa Abba Babal, Shalom, Barakatham.